Benvenuti! Welcome to 500 Useful Phrases in Italian. So today we're gonna talk about travel phrases, frasi da viaggio. I'm your Italian teacher Claudia and I'm very happy to start this journey with you, hoping that these sentences will be useful during your travels or maybe your everyday life. So let's start with our first sentence. So the first one is very important and it's I'm going to the airport. I'm going to the airport in Italian is vado all'aeroporto. Vado all'aeroporto. Second sentence, I have my passport. This sentence is pretty important as well. Ho il mio passaporto. Ho il mio passaporto. It's very important if you write this sentence not to forget to put the H in front of the O, because H-O means have. I have. If you only have O, then it becomes a preposition. It becomes or, okay? And as you might have noticed, in Italian we don't use subjects when we're talking, okay? You could have said io ho il mio passaporto, that literally corresponds to I have my passport, but the subject is not needed, so we don't really use it. Then, the plane has arrived. L'aereo è arrivato. And it literally means the plane has arrived. The only slight difference is that we use the verb to be to say has arrived. So we don't use the verb to have. L'aereo è arrivato. As before, it's very important not to forget to put the accent on the è. Because if you don't put the accent, the simple E, the simple letter E means and in Italian, okay? If you put the accent, then it becomes the verb to be. The boarding gate is in the northern terminal. La porta d'imbarco è al terminal nord. That's a long sentence, I know. La porta d'imbarco è al terminal nord. You might notice that sometimes we use the same words we use in English, and that's very helpful for you. Then, where is the baggage claim? Dove è il ritiro bagagli? Dove è il ritiro bagagli? As you might have guessed, bagagli is baggage, but it's plural in Italian. Claim is ritiro. Where is, dove è. Once again, we have the verb to be, è with the accent. Then, the passengers are queuing. I passeggeri sono in coda. I passeggeri, lots of double letters here, sono in coda. I have a suitcase and a hand luggage. Ho una valigia e un bagaglio a mano. Ho una valigia, a suitcase, e un bagaglio a mano, and a hand luggage. Bagaglio a mano is hand luggage. Okay? Then, the flight is delayed. Il volo è in ritardo. Il volo è in ritardo. Great. Always try to repeat after me these sentences. I know it might be annoying, but it's very important to practice with the pronunciation of the words. The flight has been cancelled. Il volo è stato cancellato. Il volo è stato cancellato. The flight is taking off. Il volo sta decollando. Il volo sta decollando. Sta decollando is a tense that corresponds to the English present continuous. The flight has landed. Il volo è atterrato. Il volo è atterrato. Awesome. The plane is flying. L'aereo è in volo. L'aereo è in volo. Perfect. I need to go through customs. Devo passare per la dogana. Devo passare per la dogana. I need, devo, go through, passare per, customs, la dogana. Ok? Then, qual è il numero del gate? What is the gate number? Quale è il numero del gate? And that's pretty easy because we actually use gate as in English. That's a very good information. A long sentence, I know. So security took a long time. I controlli di sicurezza, security, hanno preso molto tempo. I controlli di sicurezza hanno preso molto tempo. Then, where are the arrivals? Dove sono gli arrivi? Dove sono gli arrivi? Where are the arrivals? Where are the departures? Dove sono le partenze? Dove sono le partenze? I am at the check-in desk. Sono al banco del check-in. So we see we actually use check-in as in English. Sono al banco del check-in. I have a reservation. Ho una prenotazione. Ho una prenotazione. Always remember to put the H in front of the O while writing, okay? Do you have any rooms? Ha una stanza? Ha una stanza? Or you can also say avete una stanza? Perfect. Now we have arrived into the topic of hotels and reservation, as you might have guessed. I'd like a room. Vorrei una stanza. Room is stanza. Vorrei is I'd like. I'd like a room with a shower. Vorrei una stanza con una doccia. Vorrei una stanza con una doccia. Shower is doccia. Then, how much is the room? Quanto costa la stanza? Quanto costa? How much? La stanza? You can also have another option to ask these questions, and it's quanto viene la stanza? It's the same. The meaning is literally the same. Is there a swimming pool? C'è una piscina? C'è una piscina? Okay. C'è means there is, or is there for questions. Okay. Piscina is swimming pool. Then, is breakfast included in the price? La colazione è inclusa nel prezzo? La colazione è inclusa nel prezzo? Price is prezzo. Breakfast is colazione. I prefer cheap hotels. Preferisco gli hotel economici. Preferisco gli hotel economici. I prefer luxury hotels. Preferisco gli hotel di lusso. Preferisco gli hotel di lusso. I prefer single rooms. Preferisco stanze singole. Preferisco stanze singole. I prefer double rooms. Preferisco stanze doppie. Ok? Do you have more blankets? Avete altre lenzuola? Avete altre lenzuola? Blankets is lenzuola. The beds are soft. I letti sono morbidi. I letti sono morbidi. Do the rooms have air conditioning? That might be a very important question if you're going to Italy in summer. Nelle stanze c'è l'aria condizionata? Nelle stanze c'è l'aria condizionata? I'd like 3 keys. Vorrei. We have already seen I'd like in Italian. 3 chiavi. Vorrei 3 chiavi. Do the rooms have safes? Nelle stanze c'è una cassaforte? Nelle stanze c'è una cassaforte? Does the hotel have internet access? Nell'hotel c'è l'accesso a internet? Nell'hotel c'è l'accesso a internet? There is no toilet paper in my room. Nella mia stanza non c'è la carta igienica. Is there a train to Rome this afternoon? C'è un treno per Roma oggi pomeriggio? C'è un treno per Roma oggi pomeriggio? Pomeriggio is afternoon. Oggi means today. Okay, so this oggi pomeriggio, this afternoon, basically. Treno, as you might have guessed, is train. I need to collect my ticket. Devo ritirare il mio biglietto. Ticket is biglietto. No matter if you're taking the bus, the train, or anything else, or a flight as well. Ticket is always translated as biglietto. The train is about to leave. Il treno sta per partire. Il treno sta per partire. The train is leaving. Il treno sta partendo. Il treno sta partendo. A ticket to Milan, please. Un biglietto, ticket, per Milano, per favore. Please is a very important word in English as in all languages, and in Italian it corresponds to per favore, 2 words. I'm going to pay in cash. Pago in contante. That's a very important sentence because I don't know if you know it, I don't know if you have already traveled to Italy, but the credit card is not always accepted, especially in small restaurants, small B&Bs, for example. So it's always advised to have some cash with you as well. I'm going to pay with credit card. Pago con carta di credito. Credit card is carta di credito. When does the train to Florence leave? Quando parte il treno per Firenze? When is quando. Ok? Quando parte il treno per Firenze? Excuse me, do you know where the ticket office is? Mi scusi, excuse me. Sa dov'è la biglietteria? Mi scusi, sa dov'è la biglietteria? My train is on time. Il mio treno è puntuale. Don't get used to this sentence because it doesn't happen really often that trains are on time in Italy. Il mio treno è puntuale. On time is puntuale. My train is at the platform. Il mio treno è al binario. So platform 6, for example, binario 6. Ok? I only need a single ticket. Ho bisogno di un biglietto sola andata. Single ticket. Ho bisogno di un biglietto sola andata. What time does the bus arrive? A che ora arriva il bus? What time is a che ora? Arriva il bus. How many seats are there on the bus? Quanti posti ci sono sul bus? So bus is basically the same word, but the pronunciation is very different. So in English is bus, in Italian is bus. Okay? What time is the next bus? A che ora è il prossimo, the next bus? A che ora è il prossimo bus? The bus is running late. This is a sentence you will repeat quite often. Il bus è in ritardo. Late. In ritardo. Where is the bus stop? Dov'è la fermata del bus? That literally means where is the stop of the bus? So where is the bus stop? Where is the train station? Dov'è la stazione? Dov'è la stazione? Train station is stazione. You could have said la stazione dei treni, so the train station, but in Italian it's not that important to repeat train, because when we talk about stazione, we immediately refer to the train station. Do I get off here? Scendo qui? Qui is here. Scendo qui? Do the buses run on weekends? Ci sono bus nel fine settimana? Ci sono bus nel fine settimana? Do you have the number of a taxi company? Ha il numero di una compagnia di taxi? Ha il numero di una compagnia di taxi? Can you turn on the taximeter, please? Può attivare il tassametro, per favore? We had already seen please, per favore. Può attivare il tassametro, per favore? This is long. Can you go a little faster, please? If not, I'm going to miss my plane. I think everyone actually found himself in a situation like this. Può andare un po' più veloce, per favore? Se no, perderò il volo. Può andare un po' più veloce, per favore? Se no, perderò il volo. Can you take me to the Colosseum? Mi può portare al Colosseo? Mi può portare al Colosseo? Pick me up in an hour. Torni a prendermi tra un'ora. Tra un'ora? In an hour. Ok? Keep the change. Tenga pure il resto. Tenga pure il resto. The change. Il resto. I want to give you a tip. Vorrei darle una mancia. Vorrei darle una mancia. A tip, una mancia. The receipt, please. Lo scontrino, per favore. The receipt is lo scontrino. You said the price was 13 euros. Aveva detto che il costo, or il prezzo, era 13 euro. Can you go slower? Può andare più lentamente? Lentamente is slow. Più lentamente, slower. Can you open the trunk to store my luggage? Può aprire il portabagagli per mettere il mio bagaglio? Può aprire il portabagagli. Il portabagagli is the trunk. Per mettere il mio bagaglio, luggage, bagaglio, or valigia, as we have already seen before. We are going to the beach. Stiamo andando in spiaggia. Stiamo andando, as I had already mentioned before, is a tense that corresponds to the English present progressive. Stiamo andando in spiaggia. Spiaggia is beach. Where do we put the towels? Dove mettiamo I teli? So this sentence is specific for the beach. But towels can also, refer to the towels you have in a bathroom. In this case, you do not use the word teli. Teli refers specifically to the towels that you use on a beach. Okay? Let's place the umbrella. Piazziamo l'ombrellone. Piazziamo l'ombrellone. Here is the same. So the umbrella refers to the umbrella that you use on a beach, and that's ombrellone. Okay? If you're talking about the umbrella that you use to go outside when it's raining, then it's ombrello. Okay? Without the last two letters. The tide is high. La marea è alta. High is alta. Low is bassa. Okay? And one thing that you need to know when while learning Italian, here we're just learning sentences, okay? But if you are starting to study also the Italian grammar, one thing that you should be aware of is that adjectives always match the gender of the noun they refer to. That means that marea, for example, is a feminine noun. So we need to pick and to use the feminine form of the adjective, alta, bassa. Because yes, you also have a masculine form of the adjectives themselves. For example, alto, basso. You use alta or bassa because marea is feminine. If the words was a masculine one, then you would have used alto with an O at the end or basso. The tide is rising. Let's move our stuff. La marea si sta alzando. Spostiamo le nostre cose. Our stuff, le nostre cose. Shall we get in the water? Facciamo il bagno? Facciamo il bagno? I'll wait for you in the water. Ti aspetto in acqua. In the water, in acqua. Could you put sunscreen on my back, please? Mi puoi mettere la crema sulla schiena, per favore? One thing that you should notice is that in Italian, when you have, for example, schiena, so you have S-C-H-I-E. In this case, you don't pronounce it schiena, but schiena, okay? Normally, when you have C-H-I, the sound is always K. It's never ch, it's k, okay? It's so hot today. Che caldo oggi. Hot is caldo. And today, as we have already seen before, is oggi. I want to wear my sunglasses. Voglio mettere gli occhiali da sole. Voglio mettere gli occhiali da sole. Occhiali da sole is sunglasses. Glasses is just occhiali. Okay? Can we swim here? Si può nuotare qui? Si può nuotare qui? Is it safe to swim here? È sicuro nuotare qui? Is it safe? È sicuro? So as you might have noticed, when you actually write or pronounce a question, you don't have in Italian a do, or you don't have to make the inversion. You don't have to switch the position of subject and verb. The only thing that we do is put a question mark at the end of the sentence. That sounds easy, doesn't it? Is there a lifeguard on duty? C'è un bagnino? Lifeguard is bagnino. What are the beach hours? Quali sono gli orari della spiaggia? Quali sono gli orari della spiaggia? Hours? Gli orari. Would you like to go to the beach? Vuoi andare in spiaggia? Vuoi andare in spiaggia? Do you speak English? Parla inglese? So here, why did I put two options? Because actually you need to know that in Italian we have a formal way to address people and a more friendly one. So for example, if you're asking this question to someone that you don't know, someone that is older than you, someone that you need to pay respect to, then it's more polite to say parla inglese. If you're talking to a boy, a young person, or someone that you're being friendly with, then you can use the second version. Parli inglese? Is it clear the difference? So, parla inglese is for being more formal. Parli inglese with an I at the end is a more friendly way to ask this question. Do you speak English? Where is the bank? Dov'è la banca? Bank is banca. How are you? Here you have two options as we have seen before. So you have the formal option that is come sta, and you have the more friendly one. Come stai? Because, like when we're using the more formal way to talk to people, then we're actually referring to them with the subject pronoun she. Okay? Come sta? If we're using the more friendly way to talk to someone, then we use the subject pronoun you, singular. Come stai? Nice to meet you. Piacere. Piacere. What's your name? Here, as well, we have the two options. So the formal one and the more friendly one. So the friendly one is come ti chiami? And the formal one is come si chiama? It's all a matter of different conjugation. Here we're just working on vocabulary, on sentences, but if you're interested in Italian grammar, you should take a look at our courses about the Italian language, because there we're talking about grammar a lot. What time is it? Che ore sono? This is the standard question. Che ore sono? Excuse me, what time is it? Mi scusi, che ore sono? It's 1 o'clock. È l'una. È l'una. It's 2 o'clock. Sono le due. If it was, it's 3 o'clock. Sono le tre. Okay? You might have noticed the difference between the previous sentence and this one. So here we're using the singular form of the verb to be because one is singular, okay? When we're talking about two, we need to use the plural. So, sono le due. Once again, it's a matter of conjugation. It's 3:15. Sono le 3:15. The structure in Italian is a little bit different because literally this sentence means it's 3:15, okay? So we don't say it's 3:15, but it's 3:15. Same thing here. It's 3:45. Sono le 4 meno un quarto. I know that quattro and quarto are pretty similar. So this sentence literally means it's 4 minus a quarter. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's 5:30. Sono le 5:30. And that literally means it's 5.5. Okay? Thank you. Grazie. Attention here. It's not grazie, but it's grazie. You really have to pronounce the last letter, the letter E. And the letter E in Italian is pronounced as E. It's a little bit tricky, I know. If you want to say thank you very much, then it's grazie mille. That literally means 1,000, mille, thank you. They're never enough. You're welcome. You have two possibilities. You can either say prego, prego, or di niente. Di niente. It's literally the same. Good morning, 2 options. Ciao, that's very friendly, or buongiorno, that literally means good morning. Ciao, buongiorno. Goodbye, once again, 2 options. You still have ciao, so you can say ciao either when you arrive and when you're leaving, or a little bit more formal, arrivederci. See you soon, a presto. A presto. See you later, a dopo. A dopo. Let's keep in touch. Teniamoci in contatto. Teniamoci in contatto. Awesome, great, congratulations, complimenti, you have just finished our first 100 sentences in Italian. I hope you enjoyed this lesson about traveling, travels, hotels, means of transport, and so on. And if you have any question, do not hesitate to ask. Okay, I'm here. We are here for you, and I'll wait to see you soon. And I'm really looking forward to starting a new lesson. Okay, so have a great day, and a presto. Ciao. Ciao a tutti, benvenuti. Welcome to 500 useful phrases in Italian. If you remember, the last 100 phrases we have done were all about traveling. Today, we're going to focus on work. So we're going to talk about the most useful and common phrases that you might need when working with someone that is Italian or in an Italian environment. Okay, so without further hesitation, let's get started with this new lesson. The first sentence is one of the most useful one, and it's pretty useful when you're having your first day of work in a new place. So for example, you need to say, hello, nice to meet you. So as you might notice, you have several options. The first option I'm gonna read is the more friendly one. Okay, it's how you should say hi, nice to meet you when talking to someone that you're familiar with, or maybe a colleague that is younger than you. And in that case, you would say, ciao, piacere di conoscerti. If you are talking, for example, to your boss, if you're talking to someone that is older than you, if you're talking to someone and you just want to be polite, you should use the more formal way to say this sentence. And that would be, buongiorno, piacere di conoscerla. So if you remember, I had already mentioned that in Italian, when talking to someone that we respect, someone that is in a higher position than us, etc., we actually talk to them using the subject pronoun she. That's a very formal way to talk to someone, but it's very common as well. So I'm going to show you for different phrases also the options that you might use when talking in a more formal way. So, the second sentence is I work here. Lavoro qui. Here is qui. Okay? I remind you that in Italian, while talking, we do not use subjects. I mean, you can always use them, it wouldn't be a mistake, but it's just not that common. This is my office. Questo è il mio ufficio. Questo è il mio ufficio. Please always repeat these sentences after me in order to exercise your pronunciation. This is questo. Okay? To manage the project. Gestire il progetto. Gestire il progetto. To attend a meeting. Partecipare ad una riunione. Meeting is riunione. To answer the phone. Rispondere al telefono. Rispondere al telefono. To direct the meeting. To direct the meeting, dirigere la riunione. we have already seen meeting, that is riunione. To write letters, scrivere delle lettere. That literally means scrivere delle lettere, so to write some letters. To do paperwork, one of our beloved activities while working, fare dei documenti. Fare dei documenti. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. So here, the sentence I'm going to propose you is a formal one. È un piacere conoscerla finalmente. È un piacere, it's a pleasure, conoscerla, to meet you, finalmente, finally. I'm honored to be here. È un onore essere qui. That is literally, it's an honor to be here. The meeting will start at. La riunione comincia alle. So the meeting, la riunione, will start comincia. In this case, in Italian, we would use the present, the simple present, alle, and then you just tell the time, okay? Alle 5, at 5 o'clock. I'm looking forward to working together. Non vedo l'ora di lavorare insieme. Non vedo l'ora di lavorare insieme. That literally means I can't wait to work together. I would like to meet with you tomorrow. Mi piacerebbe che ci incontrassimo domani. Mi piacerebbe che ci incontrassimo domani. Tomorrow is domani, okay? Can you give me your business card? Mi può dare il suo bigliettino da visita? Mi può dare il suo bigliettino da visita? Business card is bigliettino da visita. Okay? Great. Then let's move to greetings. Okay, they're pretty important as well in a working environment. Good morning. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Good afternoon. Buon pomeriggio. Buon pomeriggio. Good evening. Buonasera. Buonasera. Awesome. Let me introduce myself. So here, I'm going to propose you two options, but it's not that one is formal, the other one is friendly. It's just that one refers to a situation where you're going to introduce yourself to one person. The second option refers to the introduction to several people. So for example, if you want to say this sentence to just one person, you're gonna say lascia che mi presenti. Lascia che mi presenti. If you're telling this sentence to several people, then you would use the second option. Lasciate che mi presenti. Okay? Then, I speak a little Italian. Parlo poco italiano. Parlo poco italiano. Shall we start? Iniziamo? Iniziamo? I can't connect. Non riesco a connettermi. That's a very common sentence. Non riesco a connettermi. He or she is having problems connecting to the meeting. Ha problemi a connettersi alla riunione. Ha problemi a connettersi alla riunione. As you might have noticed, we don't use the shall subjects, so it doesn't really change much, like according to the subject in this case, because the verb still is the same. So if you want, for example, to really highlight that it's a woman that is having problems, you just say lei ha problemi a connettersi alla riunione. Okay? But if you're writing this sentence, never forget to put the H in front of the A for the verb to have. Ha. Okay? Let me think about it, please. Lascia che ci pensi. Lascia che ci pensi. I don't understand that. Can you repeat it? Non ho capito. Puoi ripetere? Here we have the two options. So we have the formal one and the friendly one. The formal one is può ripetere? So the verb ends with an O and an accent. If you're using the more familiar, friendly way to ask this question, then you would say puoi ripetere? Okay? And then I don't understand that. Non ho capito. That's a very important sentence. He, she has experience in that. Ha esperienza in merito. Ha esperienza, experience, in merito. Thank you for your interest in our company. Grazie per il suo interesse nella nostra azienda. So here, I've written two options, but just because, as we have seen before, maybe you're talking to one person or maybe you're talking to several people. In the first case, then you would use suo. You're talking to one person. If you're talking to several people, then you would say grazie per il vostro interesse nella nostra azienda. Okay? Then, how will our product be used? Come sarà usato il nostro prodotto? How is come. How should we manage the payments? Come dovremmo gestire i pagamenti? Payments, pagamenti. And manage, we have already seen this verb before, gestire. I'm on it, ci penso io. That's very common. Ci penso io. How is your family? Here, once again, we have the two options, so the formal one and the friendly one. Let's start with the more formal way to ask this question. Come sta la sua famiglia? If we're talking in a more friendly way, then we would say come sta la tua famiglia? Okay? Family, famiglia. Tech support, supporto tecnico. To draw up a contract, redigere un contratto. Redigere un contratto. Great. I work in public relations. Lavoro nelle pubbliche relazioni. That's pretty similar to the English language. Lavoro nelle pubbliche relazioni. I work in commerce. Lavoro nel commercio. I work in accounting. Lavoro nella contabilità, with an accent at the end. I work in banking. Lavoro in banca. Banca is literally bank. I work in consulting. Lavoro nella consulenza. Consulenza, consulting. I work in exporting. Lavoro nelle esportazioni. Esportazioni, exporting. And then I work in importing. Lavoro nelle importazioni. Ok? Esportazioni, importazioni. Then I work in marketing. That's easy. Lavoro nel marketing. With whom am I speaking? Con chi parlo? Con chi parlo? Or maybe we have the opposite situation. Who's speaking? Chi parla? Chi parla? Hold the line, please. Resti in linea, per favore. Resti in linea, per favore. Please, as we have seen in the previous lesson, is per favore. Can you call back later? Può richiamare più tardi? Può richiamare, call back, più tardi, later? I will call back. Richiamerò io. Richiamerò io. He or she cut off. Ha chiuso la chiamata. Ha chiuso la chiamata. That literally means he or she closed the call. I can't get through. Non riesco a comunicare. Non riesco a comunicare. He or she is coming. Sta arrivando. Sta arrivando. Would you like to leave a message? Vuole lasciare un messaggio? Vuole lasciare un messaggio? This is the answering machine. Questa è la segreteria telefonica. Segreteria telefonica is answering machine. Please leave a message after the tone. That's a long sentence in Italian, I know. Per favore, lasciate un messaggio dopo il segnale acustico. And that is seriously like the standard sentence you will have. Per favore, lasciate un messaggio dopo il segnale acustico. Dear sir, caro signor, and then you write the name. Okay? So, signor, it's sir, but normally, for example, in letters or in emails, you just write the short version. So, sig with a full stop. Caro signor, I don't know, Mario. Okay? Caro signor Paolo. Dear sirs, so if you're writing to several people, then you actually do the same. You just have to put the sentence in a plural form. Cari, signori. The short version of signori is S-I and double G with a full stop. And then, as I pointed out before, you just need to write the names. Dear madam, cara signora. The short version for signora is S-I-G full stop R-A. And then, of course, you need to write the name of the madam. Yours faithfully is in fede. In fede. But actually, this expression in Italian is not really common. Most of the times you will find we will use actually regards. Regards in Italian is cordiali saluti. And that's how you close an email, okay? Cordiali saluti. We acknowledge receipt of. Confermiamo la ricezione di. Confermiamo la ricezione di. Then, with reference to, in riferimento a. In riferimento a. With regard to your letter from August 5th, in merito alla sua lettera del 5 agosto, in merito, with regard to your letter, alla sua lettera from August the 5th del 5 agosto. With regard to our phone conversation, in merito, with regard, alla nostra conversazione telefonica. To our phone conversation. In merito alla nostra conversazione telefonica. Please find enclosed. In allegato trova. That literally means you will find attached. In allegato trova. We have to call a meeting. Dobbiamo convocare una riunione. Dobbiamo convocare una riunione. They scheduled the appointment for tomorrow. Hanno fissato l'appuntamento per domani. Appointment is appuntamento. He or she confirmed his or her attendance. Ha confermato la sua presenza. And this sentence is always the same, either if you're talking about a man or a woman, okay? In a way, in this case, Italian is easier than English. Attendance is presenza. Could you reserve the conference room? Può prenotare la sala conferenze? Può prenotare la sala conferenze? Don't worry, everything is settled. Here, once again, we have the two options, so the more friendly one and the formal one. So if you're talking to someone that you're familiar with, then you're gonna say, non preoccuparti, è tutto organizzato. If you're being formal, then you will say, non si preoccupi, è tutto organizzato. Ok? I would like to present the project. Mi piacerebbe presentare il progetto. Mi piacerebbe presentare il progetto. You have the floor. Once again, we have the friendly option, that is, la parola è tua, and the formal option, la parola è sua. This sentence literally means the word is yours. I don't share your opinion. Once again, friendly alternative, non condivido la tua opinione. Formal alternative, non condivido la sua opinione. It was a small misunderstanding. È stato un piccolo malinteso. Malinteso is misunderstanding. The last meeting contains lots of great ideas. Nell'ultima riunione sono emerse molte ottime idee. Nell'ultima riunione, in the last meeting actually in Italian, sono emerse molte ottime idee. They're keeping the strategy in mind. Tengono in mente la strategia. Tengono in mente la strategia. Quando firmiamo il contratto? When do we sign the contract? When is quando. To sign, firmare. Dear colleagues, cari colleghi. Cari colleghi. When you see G and H, the sound is always G, okay? Don't hesitate to contact me. Non esitate a contattarmi. Non esitate a contattarmi. I look forward to your response. Once again, friendly option, in attesa della tua risposta. Formal alternative, in attesa della sua risposta. Ok? Kind regards. You can actually say cordiali saluti, as we have seen before, but you can also say cordialmente. Okay? We are a little bit old-fashioned when we're closing emails. Could you resend me that email? Può rinviarmi quella mail? Può rinviarmi quella mail? Resend, rinviarmi. Email is mail, but you can actually say also email. Everyone will understand. I'll copy you in. Once again, friendly way, ti metto in copia. Formal alternative, la metto in copia. Accounts payable, conti da pagare, conti da pagare. Or, depending to your activity, it could also be conto fornitori, if there are some people that are providing you with some material and you need to pay them. Cash flow, liquidità. Liquidità, with an accent at the end. I need help, please. Ho bisogno di aiuto, per favore. Ho bisogno, I need. Aiuto is help, and we already know please, that is per favore. Send an email. To send an email, actually, mandare una mail. But you can also say mandare una email. No problem. Can you speak more slowly? Può parlare più lentamente? And this is more formal, ok? Può parlare più lentamente? If you want to ask this question in a more friendly way, you just need to conjugate differently the verb. So, puoi parlare più lentamente? We actually talked more in depth about the grammar and the conjugation in the corresponding course of Italian for Beginners. We accept your terms with the following adjustments. Once again, here we have two options, but as we have already seen before, one refers to the situation where you're talking or you're writing to one person. The second one refers to a situation where you're talking or writing to several people. So let's see the first option. So, the case that you're talking to one person. Accettiamo le sue condizioni con le seguenti modifiche. Long sentence, I know. If you're writing or talking to several people, then you would say accettiamo le vostre condizioni con le seguenti modifiche. Okay? Demand is linked to supply. La domanda è vincolata all'offerta. La domanda, demand, è vincolata, is linked to supply, all'offerta. What's your job? Di cosa ti occupi? And this is actually in a friendly way, okay? Because normally you wouldn't ask this question to someone that you're not familiar with. Di cosa ti occupi? Do you want to get a coffee? Here, once again, we have the friendly option and the formal one. So, talking about the friendly alternative, do you want to get a coffee? In Italian is ti va un caffè? Ti va un caffè? Formal option, le va un caffè? Le va un caffè? And that is very common. I have an offer for a lower price. Ho un'offerta ad un prezzo più basso. Ho un'offerta ad un prezzo più basso. Lower is più basso. Price is prezzo. Are you authorized to send this contract today? È autorizzato a firmare questo contratto oggi? And this is a formal question because normally you're not very familiar to the person to whom you're asking this question. È autorizzato a firmare questo contratto oggi? I have to write the contract. Devo scrivere il contratto. Write, to write, is scrivere. Okay? Have to, devo. I have to read the contract. Devo leggere il contratto. So here we have to write, scrivere, and here we have to read, leggere. My Italian is bad. Il mio italiano è pessimo. But even if you think so, do not ever feel ashamed in talking in Italian because that's a huge effort and everyone will appreciate it and is gonna help you with the language. Il mio italiano è pessimo. Everyone makes mistakes while talking in a different language, so don't worry too much about it. What's your name? So here is the formal question. Come si chiama? Come si chiama? I'm sorry. Mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. Pardon me. Mi scusi. Mi scusi. Where are you from? Formal option. Da dove viene? Da dove viene? And finally, I'm going to sign the contract. Vado a firmare il contratto. Vado a firmare il contratto. Great! Awesome! Complimenti! Congratulations! You have just finished our second group of 100 sentences in Italian. So I'm really hoping that this sentence will be useful in your job and I really hope that you're proud of your progress so far. So have a great day and thank you for being with me. I'm looking forward to the next lesson. Ciao! A presto! Benvenuti! Welcome to 500 useful phrases in Italian. So we have already seen 200 sentences. The first 100 related to traveling. The second 100 were related to business. So today we're gonna talk about restaurants. So we're gonna do 100 phrases for restaurants. 100 frasi per i ristoranti. We all know that Italian food is worldwide known because it's very good, so these sentences could be pretty useful if you're visiting Italy or maybe if you're going to an Italian restaurant. So without further hesitation, let's get started. The first sentence is, where am I? Dove sono? Where is dove? I always advise you to repeat the sentences right after me because that's how you practice the pronunciation and that's how you really help to memorize these sentences. I'm at the restaurant. Sono al ristorante. Sono al ristorante. I remind you that in Italian, when we're talking, we do not use subject. So, sono corresponds to am. Okay? I'm at the bar. Sono al bar. I'm at the cafe. Sono alla caffetteria. Lots of doubles in this word. So we actually use caffetteria only, for the small cafe that maybe you have in a company within a building. Okay? If you're going to a cafe that is like along the street, that would be more a bar. Okay? I'd like to make a reservation for number, people. Vorrei prenotare un tavolo per persone. This sentence literally means I like to book a table for number, people. Okay? Vorrei prenotare un tavolo per persone. For example, vorrei prenotare un tavolo per 4 persone. Under whose name? A che nome? A che nome? So you see, like, all these sentences we're doing together are both sentences that you will have to say, but they are also sentences that you're gonna hear. So it's very important that you can understand them in order to reply. Could I sit at the bar? Posso sedermi al bar? Posso sedermi al bar? Can I have a menu, please? Posso avere un menù, per favore? We had already seen please, per favore. What is the typical food of this region? Qual è il piatto tipico di questa regione? Qual è il piatto tipico di questa regione? And this is a very important question because I don't know if you know it, but each region in Italy has some typical food. So if you're traveling across Italy, it's a very interesting experience to try the local food. What do you recommend? Cosa mi consiglia? Cosa mi consiglia? I'm vegetarian. Sono vegetariano. Here you do have two options because one is an option for a man. If you're a woman, you would say vegetariana. Because I remind you that in Italian, the adjectives need to match with the gender of the noun or the person that is the subject. Okay? Sono vegetariano, man. Sono vegetariana, woman. I'm vegan. Same thing here. A man would say sono vegano. A woman would say sono vegana. Do you have any vegetarian options? Avete delle opzioni vegetariane? Opzioni could be a difficult word to pronounce. Opzioni. I'm allergic to. Here, once again, we have the two options. So a man would say sono allergico a. A woman would say sono allergica a. Okay? Then, I don't eat something. Non mangio something. Okay? When you have to do a negative sentence, in Italian it's pretty easy. The only thing you need to do is to place non before the verb. One moment, please. Un momento, per favore. Un momento, per favore. We need more time to decide. Abbiamo bisogno di qualche altro minuto per decidere. A long sentence. Abbiamo bisogno di qualche altro minuto per decidere. It literally means we need some other minute to decide. We're ready to order. Siamo pronti per ordinare. We're ready. Siamo pronti. Well done. Ben cotto. Ben cotto. Rare. Poco cotto. The opposite. Can you give me something? Può darmi something? What is the dish of the day? Qual è il piatto del giorno? Qual è il piatto del giorno? Is there a house specialty? C'è una specialità della casa? C'è una specialità della casa? What's in the dish? Cosa c'è nel piatto? Cosa c'è nel piatto? What is included? Cosa è incluso? We have seen several times this cosa. Cosa can mean both what, but also thing, okay? We have already seen several times this cosa. Cosa can mean both what and thing. Of course, it depends on the context. Does it come with salad? È abbinato ad un'insalata? Salad is insalata. What is the soup of the day? Qual è la zuppa del giorno? Soup is zuppa. What would you like to eat? Here we do have two options because maybe you're all alone in the restaurant, or maybe there are two people, you are a group of 5, a 10, I don't know. So in case you are all alone at your table, then the waiter is going to ask you, cosa desidera mangiare? If there are several people at your table, then the waiter will ask, cosa desiderate mangiare? Okay? Then, what would you like to drink? Same thing here. If you are all alone, cosa desidera da bere? To drink, da bere. If there are several people at the table, cosa desiderate da bere? Are you all ready to order? Siete pronti per ordinare? What would you like to order? Cosa volete ordinare? Cosa volete ordinare? What do you want? Here, once again, if you're all alone, cosa desidera? If there are several people, cosa desiderate? It's all a matter of different conjugation. So as I have already mentioned, we focus on conjugation with the course about Italian grammar, Italian for beginners. I'm sorry, we don't have something. Mi dispiace, non abbiamo something. I'm sorry, as we have already seen, is mi dispiace. How is everything? Come va? Come va? Is everything okay? Tutto bene? This is very common. Tutto bene? Enjoy your meal. This is super common as well. Buon appetito. And that's the thing that you say to the other people at your table before starting to eat. Buon appetito. It was delicious. Era delizioso. Era delizioso. This isn't what I ordered. Non è ciò che ho ordinato. non è ciò che ho ordinato. No, thank you, I'm full. No, grazie, sono pieno. Here you see the two options. Once again, this is the sentence that would be used by a man. If it's a woman talking, then the sentence would be no, grazie, sono piena. Ok? Do you have a to-go box? Ha una confezione da asporto? Ha una confezione da asporto? To go is da asporto. Is the tip included? La mancia è inclusa? La mancia is the tip. Just to let you know, in general, in Italy, the tip is never included. Okay, so it's not mandatory. So it's really up to you to leave a tip or not. But it, as always, it's always appreciated. We pay together. Paghiamo tutto insieme. Paghiamo tutto insieme. We pay separately. Paghiamo separati. Paghiamo separati. Debit or credit? Carta di credito o debito? Carta di credito o debito? Cash. In contanti. In contanti. The bill, please. Il conto, per favore. Il conto, the bill. Per favore. I want white wine. Vorrei del vino bianco. So in Italian we always say I'd like because it's more polite. Vorrei. I want red wine. Vorrei del vino rosso. She wants a beer. Vorrebbe una birra. She'd like a beer. He wants water. Vorrebbe dell'acqua. He would like some water. What are the desserts? Cosa avete come dessert? And this sentence literally means what do you have for dessert? Okay? We have fettuccine with meat sauce. This is not a dessert, of course. Abbiamo delle fettuccine al ragù. It's super good, too. We have grilled meat. Abbiamo della carne alla griglia. So grilled is alla griglia. This sound, gli, is always a little bit hard to pronounce, but I'm sure you can do it. I prefer to eat fried chicken. Preferisco mangiare il pollo fritto. Preferisco mangiare il pollo fritto. Fried chicken. Chicken is pollo, fritto is fried. The soup of the day is cream of mushroom. La zuppa del giorno è una vellutata di funghi. Mushroom is funghi. Then, could we have bread with butter? Possiamo avere del pane con il burro? Possiamo avere del pane, bread, con il burro, with butter? Perfect. Can you bring me another fork? No, now let's move to cutlery. Può portarmi un'altra forchetta? Può portarmi un'altra forchetta? Same question, but here we're talking about a knife. Può portarmi un altro coltello? And how about the same question but with a spoon? Può portarmi un altro cucchiaio? Great. So, can you bring me another napkin or serviette? Può portarmi un altro tovagliolo? This word can be difficult. Tovagliolo. Can you bring me some avocado? Può portarmi dell'avocado? But just to let you know, the avocado is not really common in Italy, and normally you can have it with some fish, as salmon, but otherwise it's not really common. Può portarmi dell'avocado? Pardon or excuse me, for example, if you want to get the attention from the waiter. Mi scusi. Mi scusi. Anything else? Altro? Altro? Can I take the plate? Posso prendere il piatto? Have you finished? Avete finito? Avete finito? Awesome. Do you want dessert? Gradite un dessert? We have already seen this word before, but there is also an alternative. You can also say dolce, okay? Gradite un dessert or gradite un dolce? It's the same. Do you have panna cotta with chocolate? Avete la panna cotta al cioccolato? It's a very good dessert. Do you have apple cake? Avete la torta di mele? Avete la torta cake di mele? Apples? There is a hair in my plate. Unpleasant situation. C'è un pelo nel mio piatto. C'è un pelo nel mio piatto. Hair is pelo. The coffee is very hot. Il caffè è molto caldo. Il caffè è molto caldo. My pork is cold. Il mio maiale è freddo. So, hot is caldo and cold is freddo. It can be tricky, as it's tricky for the Italians, for example, when we are learning hot and cold, because when we see cold, we immediately think about caldo, but actually it's the opposite. Okay, my steak is raw, la mia bistecca è cruda. Bistecca is steak, raw is cruda. The broccoli is undercooked. I broccoli sono poco cotti. So as you might notice, in Italian, broccoli is always plural. I broccoli sono poco cotti. There are just a few situations where you actually use the singular form of the noun. Undercooked, poco cotti. My prawns are overcooked, so the opposite situation. I miei gamberi sono troppo cotti. So, undercooked, poco cotti, overcooked, troppo cotti. Can I have a soda with ice? Posso avere una bibita con ghiaccio? With ice, con ghiaccio. Is there a breakfast menu? C'è un menù per la colazione? Breakfast is colazione. Let's see another possibility. Is there a lunch menu? C'è un menù per il pranzo? Lunch, pranzo. Third option. Is there a daily menu? C'è un menù del giorno? Fourth option. Is there a dinner menu? C'è un menù per la cena? Dinner, cena. Great. Is there a dessert menu? C'è un menù dei dolci? But, as we have already said, you could also say c'è un menù dei dessert. It's the same. Pass me the salt. Passami il sale. Passami il sale. Do you accept cards? Accettate il pagamento con carta? Accettate il pagamento con carta? And as I have already said in one of the previous lessons, this is a very important question because the cards are not accepted everywhere in Italy. Of course, the biggest restaurants always accept cards, but for example, if you are in a village, it's not that obvious. Okay, so I always advise to have some cash with you, just in case. For him or her, so for him is per lui. for her, per lei. We're going to share, dividiamo. Dividiamo. Everything is delicious, è tutto ottimo. È tutto ottimo. Can you give us another minute, please? Ci può dare un altro minuto, per favore? Ci può dare un altro minuto, per favore? Can you repeat it, please? Può ripetere, per favore? Può ripetere, per favore? Never feel ashamed to ask someone to repeat something, okay? It's totally okay, it's totally fine. Can you say that more slowly, please? Può dirlo più lentamente, per favore? Può dirlo più lentamente, per favore? Sparkling water, acqua frizzante. Acqua frizzante. Does it have cheese? C'è il formaggio? Formaggio is cheese. Does it have meat? C'è della carne? That could be a useful question if you're vegan or a vegetarian. Does it have nuts? This is more important if you're allergic to something, okay? Ci sono delle noci? For example, nuts, noci. Is it spicy? È piccante? È piccante? Is it sweet? È dolce? È dolce? Is it bitter? Here we have two options because once again, as we have said before, the adjective needs to match with the gender of the noun that it refers to. So for example, if we're talking about a food that is a masculine word, then you would say è amaro. If the food is a feminine word, it would be è amara. But in any case, don't worry too much about it. Everyone will understand even if you pick the wrong form of the adjective, okay? The most important thing is to communicate. Is it sour? Here is the same thing as before. So we have the masculine form of the adjective, è acido, and the feminine one, è acida. Great. Coffee with milk for me. Per me, caffè latte. So we have a word that corresponds to coffee with milk, caffè latte. Very common. Pizza with vegetables for her. Per lei, una pizza alle verdure. Literally, for her, a pizza with vegetables. Verdure, vegetables. Then, a mojito without alcohol, please. Un mojito analcolico, per favore. So every time you see this word, analcolico, that means without alcohol. If you read or listen or hear to alcolico, that means that there is some alcohol, okay? And finally, the last sentence, carbonara without meat, please. So here we have two options, but it's seriously just a regional difference because carbonara is a very specific dish, and in some region, the meat that it's used changes. So you can say carbonara senza pancetta, per favore. But if you are in Rome, it's better if you say carbonara senza guanciale, per favore. Everyone will admire you if you say so, because it's very specific. Okay? Great. Awesome. So congratulations. Congratulazioni. Avete appena terminato questa lezione. You have just finished this lesson. So these sentences were our 300th sentences in Italian, and I really hope that these sentences will be useful during your travels, or maybe when you're visiting someone or you're going to an Italian restaurant. So I'm looking forward to starting a new lesson, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being with me, and see you soon. Ciao! Ciao a tutti! Benvenuti! Welcome to 500 useful phrases in Italian. So we have talked about traveling, we have talked about business, and we have talked about eating and going to a restaurant. So today we're gonna focus on something different. So today we're gonna talk about shopping. So we're gonna do 100 phrases for shopping. 100 frasi per lo shopping. Okay? Are you ready to start a new lesson? So let's start with our first sentence. This is the entrance. Questa è l'entrata. This is the exit. Questa è l'uscita. So, entrance, entrata, exit, uscita. As usual, I always advise you to repeat the sentence right after me, because that way you're gonna help to memorize the sentence and you're gonna train your pronunciation as well. Business hours, orario lavorativo. Orario lavorativo. The store is open, il negozio è aperto. The opposite, the store is closed, il negozio è chiuso. Open, aperto, closed, chiuso. I remind you that when in Italian you see a word with C-H-I, you have to read it as K, not as Ch. Okay? Then, push the door, spingere la porta, spingere la porta, door is porta, or pull the door, tirare la porta, push, spingere, pull, tirare. Then, let's go to the market. Andiamo al mercato. I'm going to the supermarket. Vado al supermercato. Okay? Supermercato, supermarket. You're going to the mall. Mall is centro commerciale, a long word. So you're going to the mall. Vai al centro commerciale. She's going to the bakery. Here it's pretty important to make a distinction because I don't know how it is in different countries, but for example in Italy you're gonna have a bakery that sells only bread and a bakery that sells only sweets and cakes. So for example, if the sentence is she's going to the bakery as a shop that sells only bread, the sentence would be va al panificio. Va al panificio. And what if the bakery sells cakes and all the delicious stuff? The sentence changes a little bit, but only because the word for bakery changes. So he is going to the bakery, va alla pasticceria. Va alla pasticceria. I need to go to the pharmacy. Devo andare in farmacia. Devo andare in farmacia. Pharmacy, farmacia. It's pretty similar. The boy wants to go to the toy store. That's a long sentence. And if you're parents, you probably have heard this sentence like multiple times. So, il bambino vuole andare al negozio di giocattoli. The boy, il bambino, wants, vuole, to go, andare, to the toy store. Al negozio di giocattoli. The girl wants to go to the bookstore. La bambina vuole andare in libreria. The girl, la bambina, wants, vuole, to go, andare, to the bookstore, in libreria. My mother wants to go to the clothing stores. Once again, a long sentence. And here we have two options to say mother. One is more familiar, we can say, and that is mamma. And one is more formal, we can say, and that is madre. So, mia madre vuole andare al negozio di abbigliamento. My mother, mia madre, or mia mamma, wants, vuole, to go, andare, to the clothing store, al negozio di abbigliamento. My father wants to go to the sporting goods store. Here, as well, we have the two options for dad. So we have dad, that is papà, and father, that is padre. But the meaning is still the same as in English. Mio padre vuole andare al negozio sportivo. Or, mio papà vuole andare al negozio sportivo. My boyfriend is going to the jewelry store. Il mio ragazzo sta andando in gioielleria. Il mio ragazzo sta andando in gioielleria. Do you know a place where they do, make, perform? Here you have two options. The first option refers to the case that you're talking to one person. If you're talking to several persons, then you should pick the second option. So, conosci un posto dove fanno... And this is the option that corresponds to the case where you're talking to one person. If you're talking to multiple person, then multiple people, you're gonna say conoscete un posto dove fanno, etc. Do you know a place where they sell something? Here as well we have the same options. So, conosci un posto dove vendono something? Or, conoscete un posto dove vendono something? Great. Do you know of something around here? Here as well we have the two options. So if you're talking to one person, then you're gonna say sai se c'è un or una something in zona. If you're talking to several people, then you're gonna say sapete se c'è un una something in zona. Around here, in zona. So you might see the difference between un, una. And these are two articles, and if the words that follow is masculine, then you should pick un. If it's feminine, then you should pick una. But don't worry too much about it while talking, okay? Everyone will understand the same, even if you pick the wrong article. Do you sell cheap clothing? Vendete capi di abbigliamento economici? Economici? Cheap. Do you sell second-hand clothing? Vendete abbigliamento di seconda mano? Second-hand, di seconda mano. Is your product fair trade? Il vostro prodotto è equo e solidale? Awesome. Do you sell organic makeup? Vendete trucchi biologici? Makeup is trucchi. But even if you use makeup, probably the people will understand. It's pretty common. Does the liquor store have craft beer? Il negozio di alcolici vende birre artigianali? Craft beer, birre artigianali. The shoes are handmade. Le scarpe, the shoes, sono fatte a mano. Fatte a mano, handmade. The wine is homemade. Il vino è fatto in casa, homemade. I would like one of those, please. Vorrei uno di questi, per favore. So here you might see the difference between questi and queste. So there is no real difference in terms of meaning, but simply use questi when you're talking about a group of masculine objects, or queste when you're talking about a group of feminine objects. But once again, I really want to highlight that if you're talking, you don't have to worry too much about these slight differences, okay? The most important thing when you communicate is to communicate, okay? Don't worry too much about making mistakes. Thank you very much, sir. Grazie mille, signore. Sir is signore with an E at the end. Thank you very much, madam. Grazie mille, signora with an A at the end. Can you pass me that, please? Here, once again, we have the two options. So the first option, lo, refers to something that you're asking for, and that's masculine. La is an article that you would use for feminine objects. So, can you pass me that, please? Me lo può passare, per favore? Or, me la può passare, per favore? Give me one, please. Me ne dia uno, per favore. Once again, uno refers to something that you're asking for, and that's masculine. Me ne dia una, per favore, for feminine objects. I want this or that. So, this, questo. That, quello. But if this or that refers to something that is feminine, then you should pick questa or quella. Okay? I want, vorrei. As I have already said in the previous lessons, we always use I would like because it's more polite. I don't like this one very much. So if you're talking about a masculine object, then it would be questo non mi piace molto. If you're talking about a feminine object, then you would say questa non mi piace molto. Great. I love this one. So if you're loving something that is masculine, then you would say questo mi piace moltissimo. If you're saying this sentence because you love something that has a feminine word, questa mi piace moltissimo. Okay? I know that this difference can be tricky, but as I have already said, don't worry too much about it. That could be more important if you're writing, for example, but if you have to talk and you can take like 2 hours to answer, then just say the sentence and don't worry too much if you have picked the wrong form. I like those ones over there. Mi piacciono quelli là. Group of masculine objects or group of masculine objects with some feminine objects as well. Mi piacciono quelle là. Group of feminine objects only. Over there, là with an accent. We ran out of something. Abbiamo finito something. We don't have that anymore. Non ne abbiamo più. Non ne abbiamo più. Change this one, please. Lo cambi, per favore. Quality products, prodotti di qualità. I prefer luxury products. Preferisco i prodotti di lusso. We have already seen lusso when we were talking about traveling, if I'm not wrong. The suit is expensive. Il completo è costoso. Costoso, expensive. The shirt is pretty. La camicia è carina. The shirt, la camicia. The dress is elegant. Il vestito è elegante. The purse is affordable. La borsa è economica. As we have seen before, economico means also cheap. Okay? The ring is beautiful. L'anello è bellissimo. Beautiful, bellissimo. But maybe you have already heard this word before. The necklace is ugly, the opposite. La collana è brutta. The pants are cheap. I pantaloni sono economici. The blouse is made of cotton. La camicetta è di cotone. So we have already seen shirt, camicia, blouse is camicetta. The belt is made of leather. La cintura è di cuoio or in cuoio. It's the same. The sweater is made of wool. Il maglione è di lana. Wool, lana. The fabric is velvet. Il tessuto, the fabric, è velluto. Velvet. I like flannel shirts. Mi piacciono le camicie di flanella. What is your shirt size? Che taglia di camicia porti? Here we have the two options because one, as we have already seen before, is the more friendly way to talk to people. The other one is more formal. Porti is the friendly option. In general, if you are in a shop, they would say che taglia di camicia porta to be more polite. Size is taglia. What pant size do you wear? Same thing here. Che taglia di pantaloni, porti or porta? What shoe size do you wear? Here, size changes. We use a different word. Che numero di scarpe porti or porta? Numero is number. So we literally say, what shoe number do you wear? Can I try it on? Posso provarlo? Or posso provarla? Lo refers to something, some items of clothing that is masculine. If it has a feminine word, then you would say provarla. But as I already said, don't worry too much about it, okay? I wear a small size. Here you have two options. The first one maybe is a little bit easier because it's very similar to the English one. Porto una small. So we use the same word. But actually you would normally say it and indicate it as S. The letter S in Italian is S. So you could say porto una S as well. I wear a medium size. Here it's a little bit different. Porto una media. Or porto una M. M is letter M. I wear the large size. Porto una L. Okay, so here the only option is to say the name of the letter L. L in Italian. It fits, suits me well. Mi sta bene. Mi sta bene. It doesn't fit, suit me well, so the opposite situation, non mi sta bene. If you remember, the only thing that you need to do when you want to transform a sentence into a negative one is just to place non. Non mi sta bene. It's too big on me. Mi sta grande. It's too tight here. Mi sta stretto or stretta if we're talking to something that is feminine. Qui, here. I pantaloni sono stretti. The pants are tight. The shirt is loose. La camicia è grande. How much is this? Quanto costa? This is the standard question you ask when you want to know the price of something. Quanto costa? But, for example, if you're asking for several things, then you should use the plural. Quanto costano? Okay? How much are you asking for this? Quanto chiede? Quanto chiede? Please note that these sentences could be asked, to be polite, only when you're shopping, for example, in markets or doing some fairs, but not in real shops, because it would sound a little bit rude. What is the lowest price you can give me? Qual è il prezzo più basso che mi può proporre? Qual è il prezzo più basso che mi può proporre? It's very expensive. Costa molto. Costa molto. It literally means it costs a lot. It doesn't cost much, the opposite, so we place non in front of the verb. Non costa molto. Can you give me change for a 20? Mi può cambiare un biglietto da 20? Mi può cambiare un biglietto da 20? Do you have change? Ha da cambiare? Ha da cambiare? Give me coins, please. Mi dia delle monete, per favore. Coins, monete. Can I pay with coins? Posso pagare in monete? Posso pagare in monete? And generally the answer will be yes, because in the stores they're always eager to have some coins in order to give the change to people. Is it possible to pay with credit card? Posso pagare con carta di credito? You should always ask this question before trying to pay with a credit card, because as I already said multiple times in this course, not all shops or restaurants or activities allow you to pay with credit card. If you have a debit card, then the question would be, posso pagare con carta di debito? I'll pay with cash. Pago in contanti. Pago in contanti. Can you give me a discount? Può farmi uno sconto? Discount is sconto. Can you give me a discount if I buy something? Può farmi uno sconto se compro something? If is se. Okay? Answer. You have two possibilities, yes or no. Yes in Italian is sì. No is no. Okay, so you actually write it as in English, but the pronunciation is a little bit different. It's not no, but it's no. But over there, it costs 12 euros. These are very important questions when you're going shopping into the markets, because it may happen that if you are a foreigner and you need to pay extra attention to the prices. Ma lì costa 12 euro. 12. Are there any discounts? Ci sono degli sconti? The other woman would sell it to me for 12 euros. L'altra signora, the other woman, li or le, li, group of masculine objects or masculine object with some feminine ones, le, group of feminine objects only, vende a 12 euro. Ok, let's do 10 euros. Ok, facciamo 10 euro. Let's do, facciamo. What is the final price? Qual è il prezzo finale? I live here and I earn an Italian salary. That's a very important question in case someone is trying to make you pay something that is not fair just because you're a foreigner. Unfortunately, it may happen. Vivo qui e ho uno stipendio italiano. Salary, stipendio. I know how the prices are here. So come sono i prezzi qui. So come sono i prezzi qui. Last week you told me another price. La scorsa settimana, last week, mi aveva detto un altro prezzo. Another price, un altro prezzo. The prices are different. I prezzi sono diversi. Yesterday it was a cheaper price. Ieri, yesterday, il prezzo era più basso. I love to go shopping. Amo lo shopping. Fortunately, we use the same word as in English, so that might be easier for you. Amo lo shopping. The opposite, I don't like to go shopping. Non mi piace lo shopping. I like, mi piace. I don't like, non mi piace. Do you have a bigger size? Ha una taglia più grande? Size, taglia. Bigger, più grande. How many sizes do you have? Quante taglie ha? How many? Quante. Your products are broken. I suoi prodotti sono rotti. Rotti, broken. What is your return policy? Qual è la sua politica di restituzione? Or, qual è la vostra politica di restituzione? Return policy, politica di restituzione. Do you ship to the United States? Consegnate negli Stati Uniti? Consegnate negli Stati Uniti? Or spedite negli Stati Uniti? It's the same. Ship, consegnate, or spedite. United States, Stati Uniti. How much is shipping? Quanto costa la spedizione? This is the standard question, ok? Quanto costa la spedizione? And lastly, can I exchange this? Posso cambiarlo? Masculine object. Or posso cambiarla? Feminine object. Okay, so great, complimenti, congratulations, you have just finished this new lesson about shopping. I'm really hoping that all this vocabulary will be useful and that you will use some of these sentences while visiting Italy. So I'm looking forward for the next lesson, and thank you for being with me for these 4 lessons. So have a great day and see you soon. Ciao! Benvenuti! Welcome to 500 useful phrases in Italian. So we have talked about traveling, we have talked about business, we have talked about eating, going to restaurants, and we have talked about the vocabulary related to shopping. So today we're gonna talk about school. So the phrases for school. Le frasi per la scuola. As always, I always recommend you to repeat the sentences right after me in order to practice your pronunciation of the words. So we're gonna explore different phrases related to school, the objects in the school, and phrases that a teacher can say or the student. Okay, so let's start. The first one is I need help. So here you have 2 options. The first one is ho bisogno di aiuto. To need, ho bisogno. Or a very common sentence could be ho bisogno di una mano. That literally means I need a hand, and that means I need help. Then, do you need help? Same thing here, we use the same vocabulary, so hai bisogno di aiuto? Or hai bisogno di una mano? Okay? And this sentence can refer also to other contexts than school. Is she here? È qui? We have already seen here, that is qui. She is not here. Non è qui. I remind you that to make a negative sentence in Italian, the only thing you need to do is to place non in front of the verb. Good luck. Buona fortuna. Same thing here, you can use this sentence in basically every context where you want to say good luck. Buona fortuna. Do you understand it? Hai capito? Hai capito? I don't understand, non ho capito. So as we have said before, you just need to place non in front of the verb. You have to do your homework. Devi fare I compiti. Homework is compiti, and it's always plural in Italian, okay? Have to, devi. To do, fare. I have to do my homework. Devo fare I compiti. You could have said devo fare I miei as my, compiti, but it's way more common to say devo fare I compiti. I forgot it. Here you have two options. So the first option needs to be used if there is a boy talking. The second option refers to girls talking. So if it was a man saying that, the sentence would be me ne sono dimenticato. If it was a woman, a girl, me ne sono dimenticata, with an A at the end. What did you say? Here you have two options, but they're not related to the gender of the speaker, to the sex of the speaker, but they are related to who you're talking to. So for example, in Italy, it's very common and it's actually almost mandatory to be very respectful towards the teacher. So for example, from middle school until high school and university, you always use the formal way to talk to teachers, okay? So for example, this sentence could be asked to a teacher, but could be asked also to a classmate. So if you're talking to a classmate, there is no reason to be formal. In that case, you would ask, che hai detto? If this question is asked to the teacher, then you would say, che ha detto? That's the formal form of the sentence. I said, ho detto che, literally, I said that. I love having her in my class, or I love having him in my class. So let's do first, I love having him in my class. Adoro averlo, with an O at the end, nella mia classe, in my class. If it was I love having her, adoro averla, with an A at the end. I think now you have understood a little bit the mechanism. Nella mia classe. I think he needs more help, or she needs more help. In this case, we actually do not make any distinction because, as I have already said, in Italian we do not use subjects. So actually the sentence doesn't change if you're talking about a man, a boy, or a girl, okay? Of course, if you want to specify, then you would use the subject. So, penso che abbia bisogno di un aiuto in più. Penso che abbia bisogno di un aiuto in più. Great. He or she never turns anything in. Here is the same thing. So if you don't have to use the subject, then the sentence doesn't really change because the conjugation of the verb doesn't change. Of course, if you want to be specific, then you would use the subject. So lui for he, lei for she. But basically the sentence he, she never turns anything in would be non consegna mai niente. Never, mai. I would like to go over your grades. Vorrei discutere dei tuoi voti. Grades, voti. Speak louder. Parla più forte. Più forte, louder. So maybe you have already noticed how we make the comparative form in Italian. So basically we add più in front of the adjective. Più forte, louder. Lower your voice, abbassa la voce. Have a good day, buona giornata. What does something mean? Che vuol dire something? Che vuol dire something? So what does mean something? So in that case, the object that you're asking a question about is after the verb, okay? Sit down, siediti, siediti. Stand up, the opposite, alzati. What is the problem? Qual è il problema? Qual è il problema? Is it hard for you? Ti risulta difficile? Hard, difficile. Is it easy for you? The opposite. Ti risulta facile? Facile, easy. He or she misses classes a lot. Here, same thing. So the subject is not needed, but in that way the sentence will become more generic. Of course, as I have already said, if you want to specify if you're talking about a girl or a boy, then you add the subject. Lui for he, lei for she. But in general, the sentence would be fa molte assenze. Misses classes in Italian is fare assenze. What's your English level? Qual è il tuo livello di inglese? I speak a little Italian. Parlo poco italiano. Once again, this is a sentence that you can use in every context, not only in school. Keep your hands to yourself. Tieni le mani a posto. The hands, mani. We have already seen the singular form of this noun, mano. Vuoi una mano? Do you want some help? Turn around, girati. Please try, provaci per favore. Watch your language or watch your mouth. Modera il linguaggio. That would literally mean like adjust your language. Face front, girati davanti. That's a very common sentence that you hear in class. Spit out your gum, butta la gomma. Raise your head, alza la testa. Pretty common sentence if someone is sleepy in class. May I get a drink of water? Posso avere dell'acqua? Posso avere dell'acqua? Water, acqua. We have already seen this word before. Can I go to the bathroom? Posso andare al bagno? Or posso andare in bagno? That's the same. Bathroom, bagno. Bring me your work. Portami il tuo lavoro. Bring me, portami is just one word in Italian. So here we have, are you hungry? As a question. We could translate this sentence into Italian, but actually it's way more common to ask the question in a different way, using the verb to have. So, do you have hunger? That would be the more common sentence in Italian. And that would be, hai fame? Same thing here. Are you sleepy? Hai sonno? Are you thirsty? Once again, that's the same thing. Hai sete? Do not forget, if you're asking this question, for example, in a text, to put the H in front of the A, because that's the verb to have. Are you cold? Same thing. Hai freddo? So in these cases, we always use the verb to have. Are you hot? Hai caldo? Have you finished the homework? Hai finito I compiti? As I have already suggested, compiti is always plural in Italian, homework. Don't eat in class. That's a very common sentence in class. Non si mangia in classe. Class, classe. Pretty similar. Don't drink in class. Non si beve in classe. Let's get started. Iniziamo. Where is your book? Dov'è il tuo libro? Where is? Dov'è? Where is your homework? Dove sono i tuoi compiti? So as you might have noticed, here we have dov'è, and here we have dove sono. What's the difference then? So here we're talking about a book, a single object. Here we're talking about homework, but homework in Italian is plural. So you need to conjugate the verb to be according to the subject pronoun. And in this case, it will be they. So, sono, that corresponds to are in English. I hope it's clear. May I sharpen my pencil? Posso appuntare la matita? Sharpen, appuntare. Pencil, matita. This is the list of materials I need in class. It's a long sentence in Italian, I know. Questa è la lista dei materiali di cui ho bisogno in classe. We're gonna repeat it one more time. Questa è la lista dei materiali di cui ho bisogno in classe. Great. Help me understand what you want to say. Aiutami a capire cosa vuoi dire. To understand, capire. We have an exam today. So here we have a lot of options. Why did I put so many options? Actually, it's a pretty interesting fact because exam, the word exam in English, in Italian can be very different according to the school you're attending. For example, if you are in primary school or in middle school, exam is going to be verifica. If you are in high school, exam will be compito in classe. If you are at the university, exam is going to be esame. Okay? So we have an exam today. Oggi, today, abbiamo una verifica, if you are in primary or middle school, un compito in classe, if you are in high school, un esame, if you are at the university. Ok? Don't run, non correre. Don't push, non spingere. Non spingere. We have already seen the verb to push when we were talking about shopping, if you remember. We often work in groups. Lavoriamo spesso in gruppi. Often, spesso. I know you can do it. So che puoi farcela. I will figure it out. Troverò un modo. Troverò un modo. How do you feel? Come ti senti? Come ti senti? Do you have friends in this class? Hai degli amici in questa classe? This, questa. The word ends in a because classe is a feminine word. So it needs to match the gender of the word. So questa with an a at the end. Can I copy your homework? That's not a good sentence, but just in case we're gonna add it. Posso copiare i tuoi compiti? To copy, copiare. And that's a very honest answer. No, you can't copy my homework. No, non puoi copiarli. It literally means no, you can copy them, okay? Because it's not that common that someone would say, no, you can copy my homework. No, non puoi copiare i miei compiti. That's way too long. When we can shorten things in Italian, we do it. Is the exam difficult? So here you have once again the three options, if you remember. The three options for the word exam. So, la verifica, il compito in classe, or l'esame è difficile, is difficult. Answer, la verifica, il compito in classe, or l'esame è molto facile. È molto facile is very easy. When does school start? Quando cominciano le lezioni? We would rather say, when do the lessons start? When does class finish? Quando finiscono le lezioni? What time is the class? A che ora è la lezione? Class starts at 3. La lezione inizia alle 3. 3. The class ends at 6. La lezione finisce, ends, alle 6. 6. How long is the class? Quanto dura la lezione? How long is quanto dura. The class lasts 2 hours. La lezione dura 2 ore. 2 hours, 2 ore. The class is fun. La lezione è divertente. Fun, divertente. The class is boring, the opposite. La lezione è noiosa. Noiosa with an A at the end because lezione is a feminine word. The class is interesting. La lezione è interessante. Interessante never changes, whether it refers to a masculine or a feminine word. Remember to do the best you can. Ricorda di fare del tuo meglio. A motivational sentence. The teacher is nice. Here you have two options because maybe the teacher is a woman or a man. If it's a man, you're gonna say, il professore è gentile. If it's a woman, la professoressa è gentile. Gentile is always gentile, whether it refers to masculine or feminine words. Here you have the difference. For example, the teacher is mean. So once again, if the teacher is a man, il professore è cattivo. If we're talking about a woman, la professoressa è cattiva. Raise your hand if you have a question. Alzate la mano se avete delle domande. It literally means raise your hand if you have some questions. Very good. Molto bene. Silence, please. Silenzio, per favore. Great. Repeat what I say. Ripetete cosa dico. Repeat, ripetete. And here we are referring to a group of people, for example, a group of students in a class. What, cosa, I say, dico. Do you understand the rules? Avete capito le regole? The rules, le regole. Wait your turn. Aspetta il tuo turno. Perfect. Don't run in the hall. That's a very common sentence in Italian schools. Non si corre nel corridoio. The hall is corridoio. Do you know the answer? Here you have two options because maybe the teacher is talking to just one student, or maybe she is asking or he is asking to the same question to the entire class. So in the first case, so if the teacher is talking to just one student, then the teacher would say, sai la risposta? If he or she is talking to the class, sapete la risposta? The answer, la risposta. My favorite subject is math. La mia materia preferita è matematica. Subject, materia. Math, matematica. My favorite subject is English. La mia materia preferita è inglese. English, inglese. As you might have noticed, in Italian we do not place adjectives in front of the noun, but right after it. My favorite subject is PE. La mia materia preferita è educazione fisica. Educazione fisica, PE. My least favorite class is language and literature. La materia che mi piace di meno è lingua e letteratura. La materia che mi piace di meno è lingua e letteratura. So we're getting closer to the end of this lesson. My least favorite class is history. La materia che mi piace di meno è storia. Storia, history. My least favorite class is art. La materia che mi piace di meno è arte. What do you want to study at the university? Cosa vuoi fare all'università? So in Italian we would say, what do you want to do at the university? Cosa vuoi fare all'università? I'm going to study graphic design. Farò graphic design, so you can keep the English words, but you can also use the Italian version. Farò grafica. I study Italian, studio l'italiano. You study IT, studi informatica. I have good grades. Ho dei buoni voti. We have already seen that grade is voto, and this is its plural. Grades, voti. And here we have the opposite. You have bad grades. Hai dei brutti voti. It literally means in Italian, you have ugly grades. We do actually use ugly. I failed the exam. Here, once again, we have the three options, okay, referring to the word exam in English. I failed, non ho passato, I didn't pass. La verifica, il compito in classe, or l'esame, if you are at the university. I passed the exam, that's good news. Ho passato la verifica, il compito in classe, or l'esame. Okay? And here's our last sentence. I haven't studied for the exam tomorrow. So, non ho studiato, I haven't studied, for the, per, la, verifica, or il compito in classe, or l'esame. Tomorrow, di domani. Okay? Great. Congratulations. Complimenti. You have just finished this last lesson. I hope you enjoyed all these lessons about vocabulary and sentences in general. And I'm really proud of what you have done. And I hope you're proud of your progress as well. So I hope to see you soon for other courses. And have a great day. Thank you for being with me. Grazie mille. Ciao. Congratulations. Complimenti. You have just finished this course. I hope you enjoyed our lessons and that these sentences will be useful in your everyday life, during your travels, or while you're working. I'm very proud of your progress and I hope you are as well. There are still many things to discover about this Italian language, but you have done a great job. If you want to, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment to this course in order to express your opinion about it so that I can grow as a teacher and that we can improve our course. So it will only take you a couple of minutes and I really appreciate it. I really hoping to see you here soon for a new lesson, for a new course, and thank you for being with me. Ciao!